So posture, posture, posture. One of our most important things in Irish dancing. Who agrees? Yeah. Somebody could be a fantastic, fantastic dancer, and then it gets to the end of the dance and their shoulders start swaying and their body starts leaning forwards and their arm starts coming out. And that's when marks get starting to take off the whole time. So we really, really need to make sure that that posture is as strong as possible, and so that you don't have to think about it. And that's what I'm going to show you today. There's lots of things involved in posture. It's not just one easy thing to fix. We've got our shoulders and holding those back. But also, if you've worked with me before, you would have seen me say about this before. What we do sometimes, because we're not actually super strong up here, we arch our back so much that then we get this really big sticky out bum. And then we try to swing our legs, and actually, we can't really swing them too high because our bum is so arched and our back is so arched. If we get better at holding our posture with our hips tucked under, I can automatically already swing my legs way higher and nothing's moving here. Whereas if I'm here, bums out, shoulders are back. Everyone have a little go at that for me, just to make sure you understand what I mean. So we're going to stand up, turn to the side, really pull those shoulders back, and you're almost sticking your bum right out. You know the way you walk on a stage, turn and point your turn. Right, take your right leg, try and swing it up. Yeah, so we've got that arch, shoulders are pulled back. Okay, now, tuck the bums under. Can we do that? Tuck under, can we see that movement? Let me just let this person in. So we've gone from here, we're really tucking the hips, we're still squeezing the shoulders back. Now swing your leg and see where it can get to. Yeah, have a go on both sides. Who feels a difference? Let me have a look at you all. Who felt a difference? It's quite a big difference, isn't it? Who feels like they do hold their posture like that when they're on stage and they walk on? They're really trying so hard to look proud and look confident that they actually end up sticking their bum out. And it actually hinders our performance. It makes it harder for us to do our performance and to do it well without moving the rest of our posture. So what we're going to have a look at first is that movement. It's hard, yes. Who found it quite hard to work out how to tuck the hips under? Anyone find that quite difficult? The younger girls, boys, younger ones might find that a little bit more difficult than the older ones. All right, because we've got a little bit more awareness of our body. So if you do one thing from this session today, just get yourself used to tucking the bum under. Tucking that bum under. And really, really, once we get strong here, being able to hold that position, then we're already going to fix a small part of our posture that will make a big difference. Second thing we're going to take a look at. Let me just check my notes. Make sure I'm on track. Yeah. So we talked about that. That's one thing. Second thing, so that's to do with the upper back as well. We need to be super strong then in our upper back so that this doesn't happen. Yeah? Because we want the muscles to hold our shoulders back without us having to compensate by sticking the bum out. So we need to get super strong in here, all in the top of our back. All right? Who feels like they really start their dances, shoulders are really nicely back, they're up tall, and by the time they get to the last step, their shoulders start to come forward. Yeah, got some nice honesty. Well done, everybody, for being honest. Yeah, that is because we're not strong enough in that upper back. And it takes the same way we strengthen our legs, we really need to be strengthening up there. All right, so I'm going to show you 2 exercises for this. Some of you would have done these with me before, so just join in, and some of you won't. So just try and learn and try and remember these. The first one is actually really quite easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's simple. You're going to lay onto your front. So join in and have a little go. We're going to go through a couple all together. So you're going to lie on your front, and you're going to aeroplane those arms out to the side. Now the chest stays down all the time, so we're not lifting the body. All we're going to do is lift your arms up at the side and slowly down. So have a look at me before we go for 10 all together. What I don't want to see, if you look at me from the side, my arms are directly out from my shoulders. When I pull up, I'm keeping them behind my shoulders. I'm not pulling them back here. All right, imagine an aeroplane, its wings don't move, do they? So imagine those aeroplane wings, they're just lifting up at the sides and down. And keep that chest down and keep your head down on the mat as well. All right, we're going to try 10 all together. I want you to really think about squeezing in the top of your back when we're at the top and controlling them when we're going down. Are we ready? We're going to do 10 together. Lift and squeeze. 10 and slowly down. Good. And again, squeeze. 9 and slowly down. Keep them right up by those shoulders. Lift and squeeze. 8. Really squeeze those shoulders back. Slowly down. Lift and squeeze. 7 and slowly down. Good. 6 to do. Lift, squeeze and slowly down. 5 more. Lift, squeeze and slowly down. Really control the drop. 4 to do. I can feel it working. 4. Keep the posture down to keep your body on the mat. 3 to do. Lift, squeeze, slowly down. 2 more. Lift, squeeze, slowly down. And last one. Lift, squeeze, and slowly down. Oh, give me a wave if you can feel that working your upper back. Yes, and we're only using gravity there, not even using weights. So we'd start off by doing it like that. As we get stronger, what I would suggest is doing it for the same length as a dance, because we don't need to be strong for half an hour. We need them to be strong just for that length of that dance, to hold them up and to hold them there. Let me just let these other people in. So, second move, same position. This one's a little hard and you really have to think about keeping the shoulders back. All right, exactly the same position. This time we're going to go from having them out at the sides. I'm going to squeeze them back to where they would be in our dancing costume, keeping the body down on the mat, and then slowly back out to the sides. All right, so keeping those shoulders pulled right back. And this one will be harder. Your body will want to let your shoulders fall down. We have to fight it and keep them really pulled back and keep your head down on the mat as well. Are we ready? We're going to try 10 together. Here we go. Down we go. Arms are up at the sides. Keeping those shoulders right up off the mat. Here we go. Squeeze. 10. Slowly back. Good. 9 to do. Squeeze. Shoulders back. Slowly back. Good. 8 to do. Keep them lifted and squeezed off the mat. Slowly back. Keep going. 7 more. I'm going to have a look. Make sure you're all doing it right. Good. Slowly back. Lift those arms up off the floor, Alana. That's it. Squeezing them back. 6. Slow and control. Keep the body down a bit more, Holly. Yeah, that's it. 5 more. Squeeze. 5. Good. Squeezing those shoulders back. Fight the gravity. Get those arms right to your side where they would be in your dancing costume. 4. Squeeze. Good. Slowly back. 3 to do. Keep that chest down a little bit more, Lil. Good girl. Nice. Nearly there. 2 to do. You can feel it working. 2. Squeeze them shoulders back. Good. Come on, Amy. Lift them up. Good girl. Keep the rest of your chest down on the mat, though. That's it. Good girl. And keep the legs down as well. Last one. And once you've finished that one, you can relax. Who found that a bit more difficult? Oh, my goodness. By the end of those 10, everyone's a bit like, ooh, tired. Those 10 didn't last the same length as your dances. So if we're getting super tired there and our shoulders want to drop to the mat, how can we expect them to stay back there and hold back there until the end of the dance? Do you understand why that makes sense? Yeah? So if we can get super strong on there, we did 10 today. Maybe you could do 10 each for this week. And then next week, go up to doing 12. The week after, go to 14. And then maybe try to do it for a full length of a dance. And then once you've got really good at doing it for one length of a dance, then try and do one, have a little rest and do another one again like you would at a fesh. Yeah, so we need to be strong enough to dance Some of you might be in primary and you've got how many dances to do? 6 or 7 dances to do when you go to a competition. Some of you will only need to think about 3 dances, but a little bit more intense with the legs. So either way, you've got a lot of time that you need that upper back to be strong for, to perform with a nice strong posture. Okay, next up, there's lots of areas to the posture. So we've talked about the upper back, we've talked about tucking those hips under and working and holding that. Now, next we're going to have a look at the back of the arm, which we call the tricep. And these are the muscles that we use to straighten our arm. So if they're the muscles we use to straighten our arm, they need to be super tight to hold our arms nice and straight at our sides, right? Because whose arms bend and have this little shopping bag? Anyone got a shopping bag when they're dancing? Yeah, good. Anyone bend backwards like this and twist? Yeah, okay, we've got a few honest answers. Okay, cool. I'll answer those questions at the end, girls, whoever's typing in the box, so don't worry. If you don't have a band, you don't need one, but if you do have one, then this is something you can do with it. If you don't have a band, I would suggest using something like a water bottle or something like that. Something that you can find heavy or a weight. But I'll show you a couple of different options for these, all right? Don't worry if you don't have one now. You can always just watch, take notes, and remember these for when you are practicing or wanting to get stronger. Okay, let's have a look. So, with my band, all I'm going to do is straighten it down all the way to the floor. Let me move this down so you can see it, or I'll just move back, actually, Megan. So, all the way to the floor, like that. And I'm going to pop my heels just on the edge of it. And the band is behind me, running all the way up my back. I'm going to take one hand, bring it up over my shoulder. So the band's running all the way down my back here, and I've got it up here at the shoulder. I'm going to take the other hand and hold it as well. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the front so you can see me a little better. So we've got the setup. We're standing on the band. She says, she's going to try to stand on the band. Perfect. Bring it up over the shoulder. And all I'm going to do is hold my elbows nice and tight. You guys can't see me. Hold my elbows nice and tight to my body. That means elbows by your ears the whole time. And I'm just going to press the band up over my head. So I'm stretching it up. I'm standing on it at the bottom and then slowly fighting it on the way down. Stretch it up high and slow on the way down. Up high and slow on the way down. Now with the band, you can always make this harder by standing further along the band so it's more resistance. With something like a water bottle, you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to hold it over your head. Elbows are going to stay tight to the body and you're going to let it drop down over the head and press it up. Drop down over the head and press it up. Now what we'll all want to do naturally is this, and drop the elbows out to the side because that makes it easier because we're going to use some bigger muscles. We want to keep the elbows really tight to the body, over the head, press it up, over the head and press it up, all right? Now the triceps are small muscles, so 10 of these you'll start to feel it, all right? But again, something that you can do just to start strengthening these muscles if that bent arm is something that's quite stand out for you and your posture, all right? Another one we've got, now I see lots of this and lots of you might do this at class, but some teachers like doing it, some don't, some kids like doing it, some don't, but I want to just explain a little bit of a myth. Who has seen people holding a small band like this behind them when they're dancing? And they're holding their hands in when they're practicing, okay? Now, what I want to tell you about that is all we're doing is holding against the band. So when our arms want to come out, we're fighting against the band, we're fighting against the band, yeah? So we're dancing, my arms are fighting against the band to hold still. When I take the band away, all I have strengthened is the muscles that lift my arms up. So when I actually take the band away, I'm more likely to actually have worse arms if I get used to holding that band behind. So instead of that, what I suggest is the long band. You're going to take one hand, holding the end of it all the way up to the top over your head. And your hand, your elbow is against the ear here. So that arm doesn't move. That's using your head to stop any movement. Now we're going to take the other arm and say halfway down the band or a little bit further than halfway down the band. As I say, if you don't have a band, take a look at this and then you can use it. So from here, what we're going to do is take that arm and try and push down towards our body. And slow and control the way up. Good. And again, push down towards the body. Using the head, keep that arm up nice and high. Slow and controlling the way up. Do 2 more on this side. Right down, squeeze the shoulder back. Slow and control that way up. And last one, down. And slow and control on the way up. Now, instead of practicing by holding something that's resisting the movement to go up, what we're actually doing is training the muscles that hold the arms down. All right, so that one move, if your arms are what those that swing around, this is the exercise for you. Really simple. Arm comes up above the head, have a little go on the other side. We want this really strong, this top arm's really strong. And that other arm is bringing down to your side, shoulder squeezes back, and slow control on the way back up. 3 more on this side. 3, squeeze, slow and control on the way back up. 2 more, squeeze, slow and control the way back up. And 1 more, keeping that nice and tight to your head, that top one, and control that way up. And we can feel it working. You should feel that top arm working in here and the bottom one also working here. All right, if you don't have a band, don't worry guys, they're really, really cheap. Maybe something you can put on your Christmas list, something that you can easily get, Amazon, eBay, TheraBands they're called. You want long, thin ones, but they're super good because all you can do then, once you get super strong with that, you're just going to move your hand further up the band and it makes it harder. So you've got all of that space to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And look, you can't ever be too strong for the band. All right, so that's keeping those arms in. Really, really important. Last one then, this one again, another super important one that lots of us aren't very good at. So we're going to use a band again for this. So if you don't have one, just watch. This will be going on YouTube. So as soon as you get your band, you can click back on and have a go and a practice with me. So don't worry. But this one is for anti-rotation. So anti-rotation is when we stop our core moving this way, which is so important for dancing. Who feels like they're a bit shaky like this when they're dancing? Anyone got that? Anyone got that posture? Yeah, a few people, especially because we're trying to cross our feet. Our body wants to help us do that, all right? So if we get super strong here, we're so strong that nothing's going to twist that, no matter what move, then that's going to improve. So it's a hard thing to get good at this because it's quite a specific thing. So I'm going to use my band and I'm going to use a door handle. All right. Now, make sure that you use a sturdy door handle. Maybe ask parents before we do this because I don't want any bills in the post for door handles coming off the doors or any parents texting me angry messages saying, Robin just pulled the door handle off. Ethan just pulled the door handle off. Yeah, we don't want to pull the door handle off, right? So the first key thing that we do is we make sure the door is shut. All right, I'm going to show you at mine. I'm going to pull this close up. Let's see. Bring my chair over so you can see me. So here we go. Where's my door? Where's my door? There it is behind me. So I'm going to take the band and wrap it around the door handle. So I've got the middle part on the door handle and I've got 2 ends here. 2 ends. Yeah? We're not going to be pulling too hard anyway, so we probably, most likely won't be pulling them off, but let's just double check that the parents are happy first. From here, all I'm going to do is hold these bands out directly in front of me with 2 straight hands. So 2 straight arms, straight in front of you. Now, we're going to face the side. So if you have a look, my door is on my left, my hands are straight out in front, and the band is going out towards there. Now, all I'm going to do is take 1 step away from the door, and I'm just going to try and hold those arms straight out in front of me. Now, you want to feel that little bit of resistance trying to pull you back. So I'm okay here. If I take a little step, I'm going to start to feel it. If I take 1 more step, I really have to work my core so hard here. I'm really working hard to hold that still. All right? Who can feel that? Let me just double check everyone's having a good go. Yes, Abby, can you feel it? Yeah, good. Go on another little way away. You don't look like you're... There we go. Even the smallest change in distance away from there is going to make a big difference. Envy and Mila, those doors won't work because they don't stay shut. So you want a door that's going to stay shut, all right? But have a practice afterwards, girls, when you know what you're doing. This is so good. You're going to do it one side, then you're going to turn and face the other side, because both sides are just as important. We want to stop our body going that way, but we also want to stop our body going this way. So I will do exactly the same, but facing the opposite way. Hold it there. And then what you would do is you would gradually move further and further away from the wall, but still keeping those arms out. So you'd move further away and you would increase your time as well. So you might want to do it for 10 seconds to begin with. Yeah? Anybody that has done it, did you feel, or anyone have a little go now and see if you feel when it gets pretty tough, does your back want to do that bum thing that we were talking about at the start? Because it most likely will. So while we're doing it, we also want to think about tucking the hips forward, shoulders are pulled back. Think about dance posture. We could also even standing turn out and really get our body used to that. Yeah? Once we get really good at that, the possibilities are endless with it. We can start moving our legs. Because actually, we don't need our posture to just stand still when we're not moving, do we? We want our posture to stand still when we're lifting our legs. So we get to the point where we come a little bit away, and then we're going to do a hop. And then we're going to do an opposite leg hop. My body already wants to move. So you're just going to build on that and have a little play with lots of different moves there. And you'll just get stronger and stronger. And then we're going to just stop that rotation. All right? So, little recap of everything we've done. So, we first spoke about that arch in the back. All right? So we really want to get used to tucking that bum under. Who thinks posture's a bit more confusing and lots more involved in it now than they ever thought before? Anyone feel like, whoa, I didn't realise that was involved? Yeah, there's so much going on, and that's why it's not easy. It's not something that you can just think one day, oh, I'm going to get better at my posture today. We have to really work hard at it, and we have to be consistent at it. So we've got our bum sticking out. We're going to get practice in that, tucking those hips under. We did our lion flies, so the ones where we lay down and squeeze our shoulders back for our upper back strength. And then our ones where we pull our arms down to the side when we're laying down as well for our upper back strength. We worked on our triceps, we're straightening the arms. We worked on those band pull downs for keeping those arms in at the side. And then the very last one, that anti-rotation work with the band against the door handle. So there you've got 4 or 5 different really major things that if you focus on, if posture is your worst thing, choose the main ones of those that suit your style and that suit what you need to fix or get better at, and work on them for 4 weeks, every day for 4 weeks, and then tell me about how different your posture is. Tell me about what your teachers have noticed. Tell me about what you've noticed in your own dancing. If you commit and if you really work on that, it will make a big difference. All right? Who feels like they learned something a bit new that they didn't really know before? Yes, that's good. So before we go, I want to say, number one, thank you all for joining. I'm really, really delighted with the amount of people that made the most of these sessions. I just want to help as many of you guys as possible. So you all turning up makes my job a lot easier because you're all here to learn, and you all want to learn, which is the first step, which is the hardest for lots of people, but makes my job a lot easier because you're all here and you're all listening.